Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about two R&B chord progressions that every producer should know if you're going to be producing R&B music. And if you stick around a little bit longer towards the end, I'll show you a bonus chord progression that you can use to tie these chord progressions together. Before we get into the video, make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like these. And make sure you check out some of my other videos where I do some cookups and I also do some deconstruction. Like I said, I'm going to show you two R&B chord progressions that you could use in your R&B beats and melodies, and I'm also going to show you how to make those same progressions sound a little bit more interesting. And stick around to the end because there is going to be a bonus progression that I share with you that you can tie these two progressions together. The first progression that we're going to talk about is a 2-5-1 progression, and this is one of the most popular progressions in R&B, and you can start this in a major or minor key. We're going to do it in a major key today, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build that chord progression, and I'm going to show you how to make that chord progression a little bit more interesting. So let's start in the key of C. In the key of C, all of the keys are white keys, right? All of these highlighted keys are the ones that we're going to use, and I'm going to show you what I mean by 2-5-1. We're going to go by the scale degrees. So in the key of C, just like any other key, there are 7 notes. We'll start here on C. So D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we'll top it back off with C, which is just the 1. In this progression, C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, and B is 7. So since we're doing a 2-5-1, what we want to use is the second scale degree, which is the D, then the 5th, which is the G, and then the C, which is the 1. So we're going to use these 3 notes to build our chords. We're actually going to start with the 2 first, then we'll move to the 5, and then we'll end it with the 1. Now what this is it's going to be anticipation here, it's going to be tension here, and then this is going to resolve all that tension in the end. So if we build these chords out, we're going to build these using the 1-3-5, which is going to make it a triad. And 1-3-5, we're going to start with as the D being 1. And this is different from our scale degrees. This is now our chord tone. So the 1 is D. We'll skip. We're using just the white keys, so we're going to skip. We'll go 1. This is going to be 2. This is going to be 3. So we're going to place 1 here, 3, and then we're going to skip 4, and we're going to place 1 here to make this 5. So this is our D minor triad. And you can already hear that anticipation just in that first chord. The next one is going to be G. G is going to be 1. We're going to skip. We're going to go 2, 3. So we're going to place a note here on B. 4 and 5. So we'll place a note here on D. And this is what that sounds like. This is a G major chord. And now you can hear that tension building up. So we go from the anticipation to the tension. And now that tension, it wants to go somewhere. Most of the time, the tension in every chord progression, everything always wants to go back to the 1. So it doesn't matter where you start it, it wants to go back to the 1. And so to resolve this tension, we'll go right back to the 1. And so we'll start with the C here, C being 1. We'll skip D, and we'll place a note on E. We'll skip F, and we'll place a note on G. And now we got our C major triad, and it sounds like this. And it already sounds like it went back home. So we'll go with our anticipation, our tension, and then let's just resolve that tension. And it doesn't matter how you lay these chords out as far as where the inversions or root position, it's still going to sound the same. So if we take these two that are way up here and we just drop them down an octave, we'll still get that same feeling. Still sounds like it's going back home. Now, a way to make these chords a little bit more interesting and a little bit more R&B like, what we can do is we can add a 7th. So if this is 1, this is 3, this is 5. If we skip another one, 6, and go up to 7, we have a 7th chord. This is a D minor 7. And it has a little bit more tension in that chord simply because this C in the scale is right next to the D. in the scale. So with notes being close together like that, it does build up quite a bit of tension, but this anticipation is a little bit heavier. And we do the same thing here. So we'll go G, B, D, skip E, and go to F. And F is right next to G in the scale, you see here. And it's even more tension. So we go from our anticipation to the tension. And then if we add a B here, make it a 7. Now we got that. Brings us right on home. And once again, the B is right next to the C in the chord progression. So that builds up a lot of tension there. So we get this progression. And like I was saying, it doesn't matter how you voice these, right? So I could take this here. Let's take it up an octave. Let's go ahead and bring maybe this down an octave and just playing around with voicing. This is going to open up the chord some. Maybe bring this one down an octave too. Bring this B. Let's take this G and bring it up an octave. And just kind of play around with it here. It sounds a little funky, but it still sounds the exact same as though the anticipation and the tension as well as the resolution. Now, another way that we can make these chords more interesting to make them sound really R&B like, what we can do is we can change the volume or the velocity of some of these notes and also kind of move them off the grid a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit Alt on my keyboard and I'm going to go over one and just scroll down. And here, I'll zoom in so you can see how this actually changed the volume. If you look at this little dark line here, it's the velocity of that. So if I bring this down, you see that dark line move. And then I'll just go over here and I'll just kind of move them off grid just a little bit. So I'm hitting Alt, I'm pressing Alt, and I'm just kind of moving these a little bit, strumming them out. And this is just going to make it sound like someone's actually playing it, because you're not actually playing it, but you want it to sound like somebody's actually playing it. And now that we got that, this is what it sounds like. Easy enough, right? Fair enough. And like I said, you could play with these chord voicings and whatnot to make them sound a little bit more interesting and just kind of get a vibe from it. The next progression that we're going to work on is what we call a 4-6-5. So it's similar to this. It does have that anticipation, that tension, and it also has that resolution, but it doesn't resolve all the way. So with the 4-6-5, same scale that we're going to be in, which is C. And we're going to start with the 4, which is F. So F is our 4. And we'll build a triad from F, which is the 4. So we'll go F, A, and C. We're skipping once again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our F major triad. And the next one is going to be an A, because that's the 6th note in the scale. So we'll go A, C, E. And all we're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last note is going to be the G, which is the 5th of the scale. So G, B, and D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got F major, an A minor, and we have the G major. And you'll notice that a lot of these chords share a lot of notes. So like we got the A here, the shared, the C here, the shared. And then we have these notes that are kind of close to each other. Like this E is close to this F. We bring it down an octave. And then this D is close to this E if we bring it down an octave. So now our voicing is sounding like this. And you've actually heard this chord progression a lot because it's a really popular one. It's not as popular as the 2-5-1, but this is a very popular chord progression. And if you were to play these on the piano, you wouldn't have to do very much movement. You literally just have to move your thumb first. So you play with your F on this thumb first. Then you keep these two the same, and you'll just move this finger down, and then you move the entire chord down. So it sounds a little bit like this. Very easy to play. Now, the same thing can be done with these to make 7th chord. So if we bring that up here again, let's add a 7th on top of it. So this is 5, 6, and then we'll add this one, 7. This is 5, 6, and we'll add this 7. This is 5, 6, and this is 7. And same thing, get that R&B feeling. And that G sounds like it wants to go somewhere. It wants to go back to the 1. So you can take it back to the 1, or you can take it back to the 4. You can kind of adjust these, kind of make them sound a little bit more realistically played, or you could do the voicings a little different. It's however you want to do it. That is your 4-6-5 progression. Now, if you have made it this far in the video, first of all, thank you so much for coming this far. And as promised, I'm going to show you a chord progression that you can use in combination, or as a combination, should I say, the 2-5-1 as well as the 4-6-5. So let's get right into it. So we'll start out with our 4-6-5. Only this time, we're not going to use our 5 right away. What we're going to do is we're actually going to use the 1 first. We're going to start with the 1. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of this. And we're going to start with our 1. So our 1 is C. And then we're going to go straight to our 4, which is going to be this F, A, C. And then we're going to go to our 6, which is the A, C, E, and then we're going to go into our 2, which is D, F, and A. Let's shorten these up here, and then we're going to go to our 5, which is the G, B, and D. And what you have here is a 4, 6. We're going to skip the 5 and go to the 2, 5, 1. So this is what we have. So it's not straight 2-5-1 or 4-6-5, but it is a combination of the 2, and you got a full chord progression there. You can start it with the 1, or you can start it with the 4 and go 4, 6, 5, 2, 5, 4, 6, 2, 5, 1. You can dress these up how you want to and just kind of move them around. You can make different melodies with them, change the velocities and whatnot. But it's going to definitely help bring your R&B tracks and your R&B music to life, because these are very popular chords in the R&B genre. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do have more videos. They're going to show up on the screen in just a second. If you want to see more videos from me where I'm clicking up, or I'm deconstructing instrumentals, or I'm even explaining how to make chords like these, just click on one of those videos. But like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.